More news from Russia. Russia's defense minister says US bombers have significantly increased activity near Russia's eastern borders. It's coming from RIA. RIA, sorry.
Test. Is that better, Rose? Let me just double check that. Thank you. Hi. Okay, so I'll start again. Hi all and welcome to another edition of Daily Market Review by TraderCast. My name is Phil. I'll be your presenter today. I was just waiting for a few more minutes for people to come in and join us properly, and then we can start the broadcast in a normal fashion. I was saying hi to a few people who are already in. Rose, Ziggy, Eladio, Jonas, Israel, Said, Haifa, Mike W, Sutha, Darren, Farouk, Marcus, Jeremy, Uzi, Kay, anybody else who's coming in. Thank you. Brilliant. Okay, so what we are planning to do today is I'll go through the top 5 things we should know before we start trading today. All good, brilliant. Okay, excellent. We'll go through the top 5 things we should know before we start trading today, and then we can go and check out a few markets. So I have a few positions open already. I am long DAX, I'm long Nasdaq at the moment, and I'm also long cable. So these are my 3 trades for today. I'll explain the reasons why. You can probably guess here by this little fib retracement what I did with a cable, but I'll talk about all of that in more details, and I'll show you those setups and explain the reasons why I did that. But okay, so let's start with the important things which are moving the markets today. So Biden announced release of 50 million barrels from strategic petroleum reserves. So that should normally push the price of oil down. And instead we are seeing crude oil creating this oversold rally, and it's pushing higher. So this is the 4-hourly candle. I'm waiting to see how this 4-hourly candle settles before I engage, but I'm paying a very close attention to these areas up here as a point of interest. So you guys know that I'm longer term bullish on crude oil. Let's see how this plays out, and I'll tell you more about that in a while as we go through the markets as well. EU PMI upbeat ahead of virus resurgence, more inflation warnings. ECB sees inflation risks skewed to the upside, really. ECB, not new lockdowns won't delay stimulus wind down. German business
News
activity.
From IFX, Russia and China are intensifying military drills.
German business activity up in November. Prices pressures record high. Germany tells UK to come to your senses on Northern Ireland. French business activity is stronger than forecasted in November, according to flash PMI data. UK PMIs show record inflation and green light for Bank of England hike. Over the weekend, they were basically setting the expectations that hike might not really happen as fast as everybody else expected, but it seems to me that the Bank of England will likely do something. Japan allocated 5.2 billion to fund chip plants by TSMC and others. Hi Robert, welcome. Treasury yields fall as investors digest Powell's renomination. So we know we have Powell as a head of Fed for another 4 years, so that's all good. Dollar stands tall as Powell reappointment firms hawkish Fed bets. Okay, so more calls for a stronger dollar. Lira losses snowball in Turkey, worst streak in 20 years because they keep cutting interest rates and thinking, basically they're saying that this is stimulate the economy and keep the inflation down. Not many people believe that, and that's why Turkish lira is plummeting against the US dollar. Oil slips on plans to tap emergency crude reserves, and we are seeing this rebound higher now, so not really sure if that's kind of sustainable, but let's see. No news on OPEC Plus officials about changing their production quotas, and European shares had the corrective pullback to 3-week lows on COVID surge and a possible rate hike fear. So that's where we are with the...
Good afternoon, it's Luke here to take you through the US session today.
That's where we are with the news. Okay. That are driving the markets. They're driving the markets, and didn't mean to do that. Meant to do this. There we go. If you need something else covered, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do so. Now, let's talk about top 5 things we should know before we start trading today, and then we can go and check out a few things here as well. As I said, I'm long DAX, I'm long cable, and I'm long Nasdaq. Nasdaq is not really working in my favor at the moment, but let's see. Independence, President Joe Biden selection of Jerome Powell for a second term as a Federal Reserve Chair was welcomed by Wall Street with the continuity taking one risk off the table ahead of Thanksgiving holiday. So if you don't know, we have a shorter trading week this week. Friday, US markets are closed. It's possible that we could see liquidity dip into the weekend because US traders might be looking for extended week and the holiday as well. So markets could become very illiquid or thinly traded towards the end of the week. Picking Powell should help ease the confirmation of Brainard's as vice chair in the Senate. The president has yet to pick people for 3 other spots on the 7-member board of governors, including the key vice chairs of supervision role that's being closely watched by progressives within his own party. Okay, inflation, that's another big topic. Inflation is another big topic in the morning. This morning, Purchasing Managers Index showed price pressures continue to increase for businesses in Euro area. Despite the composite reading coming in well above expectations at 55.8, the outlook looks far from optimistic, with the risks of further COVID lockdowns adding to concerns about prolonged inflation. There was little good news from policy makers, with European Central Bank Executive Board member Isabel Schnabel saying she sees inflation risks skewed to the upside, while both the Dutch and German central banks warned of price growth persisting. PMI data for the UK showed the highest number of companies reporting increased cost burdens in 2 decades. Hey, Paul, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you guys? How are you guys? Do you have anything open? Are you looking for anything? Let me know. Crude, Biden is okay. We talked about all of that, and markets are kind of settling at the moment. So that's where we are with with the top 5 things we should know before we start trading today. Now let me just show you what I have open at the moment, and then we can take it from there. So the first thing that I have is a DAX. Okay, here we go. Let me just pop this out. Same as yesterday, I had pretty much the same reasons for the trade. So I'm currently long DAX. Let me just do this. So this is a shorter term 15-minute time frame price action here. I've decided to go long at 16,000. A very nice level that kept on repeating in the past, and although this looks like an oversold bounce back, we are coming to some level of resistance here, but I feel that potentially we could see a spike higher. So 16,050, 16,100, 16,180, 16,200. So these would be my take profit levels. Same as yesterday. If you remember, I was looking at 16,180, 16,200. I took half of the profit at 16,150, 60 or thereabout. Move the stop.
Some crypto news here. India government looks to ban all cryptocurrencies bearing a few.
Ziggy, got CAD Japanese yen on my watch list for a long, bouncing of 32.8 fib. Okay, thanks for sharing. Brilliant. So that's where I'm with
the Indian government to introduce this cryptocurrency and regulation bill in the winter session, according to this statement from the government, Reuters citing.
Yeah, that's where I'm with the DAX. If I'm wrong, I'll be stopped out very quickly. The initial stop was just below 15,890, but I kind of readjusted it. It's about 67 points below where I entered. That's the risk, and the potential reward is up here. So from the risk to reward point of view, it's almost 3 to 1. But I'll be looking to take partial profits as we go along. So that's where I'm with the DAX. So that's my DAX. The other thing that I also have open is on Nasdaq, and Nasdaq was open as inverse head and shoulder, and I'll just show you that very quickly here on the chart. So if I go and check this out, this is uptrending, 4 hourly, uptrending quite nicely, 1 hourly, and if I go to a 15-minute, there is that inverse head and shoulder. So shoulder, head and shoulder, and this is the neckline now. Slightly sloping neckline, and this is the reason why I decided to go long at the breakout of this level. Now, the fact that price is going back in, it's not looking that good for me. But I'm happy to hold, and I'll show you what it is at the moment with Nasdaq. Let's see if that inverse head and shoulder play. This is a really short-term trade here. So Nasdaq is on that trade as well. Now the other thing that I have open is cable, and you can probably tell why I did a cable, because you can see this fib here. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Now, because of this inflation worries and so on, it's very likely that sterling Bank of England might hike rates, and that's positive for sterling or bullish for sterling. So from the daily point of view, this is clearly downtrending, and we are coming to some major support. 4 hourly is also downtrending. So this is a counter trend trade. It's a counter trend trade. But if I go into an hourly, there's a nice bullish engulfing here. And yet again, I know there's a huge amount of people who are watching this, and you're just saying, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what bullish engulfing is. I have no idea why you traded this. take your time. If you want to know more, come and seek the education. Get in contact. You'll find the education very easily from us. Alternatively, if you need to engage with us in the community, come and join TraderCast, which is fine. So from the 15-minute point of view, this is the reason why I looked at this trade. So this is an oversold bounce back which had a retracement, and this retracement came to about 50% fib retracement from these swing lows to these swing highs, and now we are bouncing higher. So the reason why I'm long cable is because I feel that we could possibly see a push higher and then extension towards 134 area. So let me just show you where I am with that, and then I can also show you the same thing in a different a chart as well. So just bear with me a second. Cable is there. What was the original stop? 33.40. Okay, so let me just show you where I am with that. So yet again, these positions are not massive, but they are live. So we have cable. So you know the reason why I did this. So the initial stop is down here, 133.40, basically just below the lows. From the risk point of view, it's about 22 points of risk. It's not a huge amount of risk. Take profit is up here towards 134.90, possibly even a little bit higher. So let me just do that. So if I do this and put my that's the limit. So from the risk to reward point of view, it's almost 6 to 1. So it's about 22 points of risk for potential 120 points of gain. I'm happy with this. Yet again, I'll be likely taking partial profits, as I always do. And yet again, if I'm confusing anybody with what I'm saying, is don't worry, take your time, stick around. You'll pick up a lot from here. Otherwise, get in touch and we'll let you know where to get the education from. Okay, so that's where I am with those three trades. I'll keep you updated on those throughout the broadcast today. And now let me just go and tell you a few other setups that I was looking at. Paul, still like US dollar indices, looking a bit tired, but that hasn't been a good policy for a long time. Dow needs to hold 35,600, Paul is saying, and I always respect what Paul says because he knows his stuff. Longer term growth is going to become a problem. CAD Japanese yen may struggle to get through. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Now let me see. So I could be stopped out on some of these trades fairly quickly, but the risk is very, very low. So first things first, let's go and talk about a few markets that could be of interest to everybody. So we talked about Nasdaq very quickly. We talked about sorry, let me just apply excellent. Okay. Another thing that's of interest to me at the moment is S&P. Okay, so S&P is coming into a nice area of support. Quite happy with that. So the levels that I'm looking at as S&P is 4670, which is down here. Now the reason for that is, yet again, here is your daily above this little red line, really important level, 4676, 4679, really important level of support there. 4 hourly, nice bounce here. 1 hourly, we are looking for a continuation to the upside. Now all of this can change quickly, and this can become a loss of support and then retest and then another leg lower. But so far the buyers have been active. The buyers have been active in the past and reacted to this type of setups. If we see a push higher, break above this rising trend line here, that could open the way for a gradual move higher. 4707, 4720, 4730 to the upside would be levels of interest. So this area up here, for this type of setup, the loss of 46.45, which is below here, let me put that 46.45, would negate it, and then that would definitely change it. It would become something completely different. So about 25 points of potential risk here for the extension to the upside. Looking for about 70 points on the upside on S&P, and that's where we are. That's where we are with S&P. So I don't know if you need this posted in the community. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to do so. The other thing that we should be talking about very quickly is here. This is Dow Jones. So from the Dow point of view, we have corrective pullback. There's a nice retest of 50 period moving average. This a push higher. 4 hourly, we have a tweezers here. 1 hourly is pointing to a potential push higher here. And then subsequently up here as well. So Dow appears to be pointing to a key trading level of 35,550, which is in this zone here. So at the open, in a couple of minutes, if we see a corrective pullback down here, and then a rally, that would be bullish. Majority of the people would not want to see the loss of 35,400 to the downside, which is this area down here. And that's where we are. So I'm closely watching at this as a possible rising wedge. And let's see if we get a corrective pullback at the open for a possible buying opportunity and a push higher. So that's where I am with the Dow. So Dow, that's where we are. Here we go. We are coming very, very close to the open now. So the other thing that we should talk about very quickly, let's quickly move on to the commodities and currencies while we're waiting for the market to react at the open. And then we can go and check that out. Come on, Dow. You don't want to come here? We're going to see a breakout from the open. Okay. Now, happy with this little cable trade. Happy with this so far. Happy with DAX also. It's behaving. So Nasdaq is still looking more bearish now. Dow, it's looking good. This is looking good. Okay, so let's go and check out few levels for some currencies and some commodities, and then we can post some of that stuff in the community as well. So euro dollar, seriously bearish here, seriously bearish. The same story keeps on repeating again. More lockdowns in Europe, inflation is creeping up, more concerns, and this is clearly reflected in how the euro behaves at the moment. So key trading level going forward for euro dollar is at 113.30, which is this area up here. Bears are in complete control below that level. So if we see an oversold rally into that level and a big rejection to the downside, or if we see a loss of these lows and continuous selling pressure, that could also open the way for another leg lower, targeting 112, 111.50, 111, possibly even lower. So that's the trajectory for euro dollar at the moment. The alternative view would be if we see a push higher and a breakout above 113.30, maybe a retest of that level, then that could trigger this kind of falling resistance trendline breakout, and that could then open the way for a short squeeze and a push into this zone 114, where bears would likely look to engage again and look to short sell. So euro dollar does appear to be very, very bearish at the moment. Either way you look at it. Only the end of day close above 114, that could change the outlook, potentially opening the way for a kind of a counter trend move higher towards 115.50, possibly even 117 on the upside. But so far this looks very, very bearish. I'm just keeping an eye on my trades here. I would be cutting some of these trades. I'm gonna get out of Nasdaq trade. I'm not happy with that. I'm still holding on to DAX and also cable, just for a while longer to see if anything changes. Cable, this is a sterling dollar. We're seeing oversold bounce back here, previous significant low. Key trading level is at 134.40, 134.50 on the upside. From the intraday point of view, from a shorter term point of view, this looks like a bullish engulfing here, nice and bullish engulfing in an hourly. In a 15-minute time frame, this looks like an oversold bounce back. And from the fib point of view, we talked about this before. There is the fib. Sorry. There is my fib, low to high retracement here. So if I open this up in a much shorter term time frame from the intraday point of view, this is a nice retracement. And now if the price does break through these swing highs, then off it goes to these two areas, minus 27, which is this area here, followed by this area here, 140, breakout above that level, potentially targets 134, 134.10. So these are the levels where the kind of counter trend traders would likely be looking to take profit, take profit, take profit. Risk is just below down here. If that doesn't happen and instead we see a dip lower, I want to be picked up with my stop and admit I am absolutely wrong. I no longer want to be in this trade. Get out and wait for another setup. But that's where I am with cable. I've posted cable already in the community yesterday, so some of these levels could still be valid there as well. So far that's holding. So far that's holding. Dollar Japanese yen. I have another setup in dollar Japanese yen, and the dollar yen, the level that I was looking at was at 114.50, 11450. Yet again, very similar analysis to what we did yesterday. So this was resistance breakout, retest, and now the price is pushing higher. From the trend point of view, dollar yen is really bullish. We're seeing a continuous US dollar strength and so on. So the logic is that if the price comes back down to this zone down here, 114.50, which is this area here. So it's not always the exact level. It could be a range of kind of points in there. So 114.50, 114.40, 114, all the way down to 125. So it's a 25-point zone rather than just the first level. But that's the area. So pullback to that level could likely trigger a bounce and a push higher towards 115.50, possibly even higher. From the risk point of view, the loss of this area and a dip below 114 to the downside. So therefore, the price dipping below here, creating an end of day close below this area, retest of that level from underneath, and that would change this, potentially opening the way for more corrective pullback. And then it wouldn't really make sense to be make sense to be in this trade. I am looking at that Nasdaq again. Let's see if I get that on. My stop. Okay, here we go. So I am on that trade again in Nasdaq. I'll be taking profits very quickly here. This is a scalp, so come on. So this is where I am with the Nasdaq. So I'm currently long Nasdaq. Just got in on this trade, so let me just show you where I am. Just got in on this trade, so if I change this to a shorter term time frame, you'll see the reasons why. So there's your 5 minute, there's your 1 minute time frame. From the scalp point of view, you're seeing a nice bounce higher and so on. So the stop is down here at the moment. I would like to see a breakout above here and a gradual push higher towards...
Just moving into 5 minutes then, and we get the US data for November, manufacturing PMI flash read. We're looking for 59 on a prior 58.4, the range 57 to 60.4. For the services, we're looking for 59 on a prior 58.7, the range 58 to 60, with the composite a prior of 57.6.
So these clusters of the lows here would definitely be of interest to me for some profit taking, possibly even up here, 16,600, because that's a longer term previous high, low, high here. So we have horizontal there as well. But that's where I am. So currently about 47 point, just below 50 point of risk for potential 150 points of gain, 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I'm happy with that. I'll stick with this and see how this plays out. I'll be taking partial profits very quickly on this trade. I am keeping this open into the figure as well. So let's see how that plays out. The other thing that I have open is that cable and also ducks. So yet again, if you need me to post this dollar yen for you in the community, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do so. And let me just show you where I am with my cable at the moment. So cable trade is open. And I don't want to be repeating the same story and the reasons why I did this, because this was explained earlier. So far, based on that fib retracement, I'm in this trade and I'm looking for a push higher.
PMIs for the US for November. Manufacturing, we're looking for 59. Services, we're looking for 59 with the composite prior 57.6.
I'm looking for a push higher and so on. So risk currently 22 points. Let's see if this plays out. The limit is up here towards 134.90, but I would likely be taking some profits up here, possibly up here as well. And I'll talk to you about all of that in more detail as well. Ziggy saying, can we post dollar yen? Yes, very quickly. So Ziggy, I just want to show you what's happening with Nasdaq. Apologies. Because I'm getting ready to take a little bit of the money off the table here with Nasdaq. So because we have these figures coming in, so what I'll do is I'm happy to take half of my profits here. So I'm taking half here, and I'm also moving the stop slightly higher. So I'm risking about 26 points. So if I get stopped out, it'll be almost like a break even. And if I'm lucky and this goes higher, based on the predictions and this kind of a reversal candle, then this is 157 points on the upside. So I would be really, really happy with this trade. This trade would be absolutely perfect. So the other thing that's going on, that cable is up, and also the DAX trade is up. So let me just show you where we are with the DAX. That trade is also up. Come on.
Just under 1 minute.
Sorry, I'm doing too many things at the same time. So DAX trade from earlier on is still there. So there is a setup. This was the entry. very close to 16,000. The stop is down here, 67 points below, limit is up here. So what I'll do is, yet again, I will take partial profits on this. I'll take 2 contracts out of this, pay myself a little bit, and then I will likely move the stop closer to entry in here. So if this reverses, I'm almost breaking even.
59.1 for manufacturing, services at 57 with the composite
if I'm
at
right,
56.5. So US
180 points
PMI
higher.
prelim November 59.1 in line with the estimates. Services softer 57, and the composite coming in weaker than the prior at 56.5.
Oh, you beauty! This is good. Okay. And cable is also on. So Ziggy is saying, can we post dollar yen? Yes, we can definitely post dollar yen. Ziggy, we'll do that very quickly.
The prices index has hit the highest on record going back to 2009.
So this is Nasdaq. This is a DAX. They're both. I'm both long in both of these markets, and I'm also long here in cable. I'm looking for cable to break. Come on, cable, break through and push higher towards 134. I would be ecstatic with that. So now let me just go and yes. I think I had too many charts open. So. Dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, coming your way, Ziggy. Oh, this is lovely. This is great. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with this. This is brilliant. Guys, let me just show you where I am with these trades while I'm working on dollar yen. So I should try and simplify this broadcast. I'll try and simplify the broadcast. I might even split it in slightly 2 different ways, because maybe I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. So there is Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is pushing higher. I took half. Happy with that. I'm moving stop just above break even. So I'm locking in about 13 points on this trade. 13 points. I'm locking in 66 euros on this trade. The current P&L is up here. Half is taken, and then this is the limit where these lows are, 16,490 or thereabout. So that's the Nasdaq trade. Happy with that one. The other trade that I had open is DAX, so which is this one here. Come on, Nasdaq, you beauty. There we go. So we have the DAX trade here as well.
Bank of England receives an offer to cover ratio 1.94 at the buyback of 1.15 billion of the 20-year plus gilts. The prior buyback was 2.16. So today the BOE gets a 1.94 cover ratio in the QE gilt buyback.
So what I'm going to do with this trade from the trade management point of view, I'm going to move my stop from the loss-making 20 points above break even, and I'm locking in 16, 17 points or 50 euros on this trade. Happy with that. So if the price goes against me, I'm going to cash in some more. Half is taken, not exactly half, because it was a 5 contract trade, so it was a 2 contracts closed, 3 left.
Turkish central bank saying they can only intervene at times of extreme volatility.
And I'm gonna let it run. And my cable trade is also there. So see if I have. There we go. The cable trade is on as well, and that's in the money now. More so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the stop just slightly closer to
bank says they have
the
no
entry. So I'm
regarding
risking about 7 points on this trade. 7 points on this trade of risk, about 30, 35, $36. Paul saying 16,075 might be a good spot for DAX. Yeah, absolutely agree with you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for sharing. So I'm still, my stop is still below the entry. I'm not taking any profits on this trade just yet. I'll see if I get more. I'll readjust.
The Turkish central bank though does say they observe unhealthy prices in the forex market.
That's where I am with cable. And now I'm gonna shut up and post that dollar yen 114.50 Ziggy. That's the level. 114.50 was the level. Oh, Nasdaq, you beauty. This is really good. Here we go. 16,420 important for Nasdaq. Yes, yes, Paul.
Some research here from Goldman Sachs. They now expect Turkey to hike interest rates to 20% in Q2 next year. Sees risk for an earlier move given ongoing lira pressure.
Okay, so that's posted for you guys in the community. So Ziggy, apologies. Dollar, Japanese yen trade setup is posted with the explanation, all the key levels. This is Bitcoin from yesterday. This is cable from yesterday. This is the week ahead, key trading levels. So plenty of things in the community here. Yet again, if you are brand new to this and you are getting kind of confused, you're watching this and you're saying, I have no idea what this guy is talking about, don't worry, take your time and get in touch if you need to know more. Okay, so we are coming to the end of today's broadcast. Thank you all very much for watching and listening. I had fun. Hopefully, did you enjoy that? Did you have a good time? Did you find some of this beneficial, informative, actionable, educational? I have no idea. Hopefully you did. And if you did, I am happy. So, if you need to know more, get in touch in the community, in the chat. If you need something posted, let me know. I'll be more than happy to explain more about those setups and the triggers. If you are looking for the education,
just a heads up, we are under 3 minutes until we hear the governor from the Bank of England, Bailey. We have put a link on the board for those who do want to listen.
Brilliant, excellent, Ziggy. This is absolutely. I'm really happy now with this Nasdaq trade. I'm really happy with this Nasdaq trade. This is really good. Sorry. Really happy with this Nasdaq trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm moving my stop
2.5 minutes till we get the Richmond Fed manufacturing index for November. We're looking for it to tick lower to 11 on a prior 12.
So locking in little bit more on this trade. Paul was talking about this level up here, 16,420 or 16,460, which is this swing low here. I suppose it might be a different price on a different chart, but yeah, these are the closing levels. So 16,500 almost, a nice and round number and so on. So let's see how this plays out. I'm really happy with this. Really happy with this. Really happy with the DAX trade. Really happy with cable so far. This is the last view of the DAX. So DAX trade is breaking out higher. First, second, corrective pullback. Now we're looking for this extension to the upside. High, lower high, lower high, lower high, falling resistance trend line breakout. So let's see if this happens. You can see breakout and retest, second chance to catch this ball when we see a correction like this here. Maybe, but the ultimate level of interest is up here for me, 16,175, and cable is also doing really well. So let me just do that. Where is my cable? Cable is here. Retracement to fib and a push higher. Still very. It's a complete counter trend trade. I'm keeping this risk on. This risk is 7 points. I'm happy with it because it's a much smaller trade. But let's see how this plays out. And if I'm right in my predictions, this will be a good one as well. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Happy trading. and talk to you all tomorrow at the same time. Bye. Bye for now.
The Richmond Fed Composite Manufacturing Index at 11 in November versus plus 12 in October. Shipments Index plus 4 versus plus 1 in October. And the Services Revenue Index plus 8 versus plus 9 in October.